So the how-to trap. Have you ever heard of the how-to trap? It might just be the thing that's keeping you stuck in your reality as it is, in your world as it is, the thing that's stopping you really shifting your mind to engage with life on bigger and bolder levels. So if it is, you might want to know how it works. So what is the how-to trap? Well, the how-to trap is simply this. It's the idea that in order to do something different in my life, in order to be different in life, in order to show up differently, in order to get different results, I need to get some sort of a how-to, some sort of instruction manual, some sort of, well, do this, then do this, then do that. And, you know, it's prevalent. How many books out there are there called How to Do X, How to Do Y? How many YouTube videos, how to do this, how to do that? Truth of the matter is the internet is absolutely full of how-to. There is how-to everywhere, you know, there is an abundance of how-to, and yet people keep on asking the question, well, how do I do that? How do I do this, you know? Now, how-to is a trap for one simple reason. If you are stuck in it as an attitude, it has what's called a problem of infinite regress within it. Imagine that I know how to walk and you don't know how to walk. Okay, you've got all the function, the capability there to walk, but you don't know how to do it. Okay, you've never learned, you don't know how. So you say to me, James, well, how do you walk? And I say, well, you know, you stand up first of all, and then you sort of shift your weight and you put one leg in front of the other, and the momentum kind of carries you forward. And you say, you do what? I say, well, you stand up. How do you stand up? Well, you just kind of rock your weight forward, you engage the muscles of your legs. Oh, okay, so how do you engage the muscles of your legs? Well, you have a picture in your mind and you think, and the muscle kind of engages. Okay, how do you do that? How do you get the picture in your mind? How do you think? Well, you don't actually get the picture, it's more outside of consciousness. How do you know what the picture is? How do you? You see, that's the problem with how-to. It opens up a rabbit hole that as long as you ask the question, as long as you think you need the answer before you take action, before you do anything, you're stuck. You're absolutely stuck. Now, if you think about kids learn to ride bikes by getting on bikes and somebody coaches them. They give them a bit of how-to, but the kid gets on the bike first. If a kid were to sit on a bench and say, well, you know, I'd love to ride a bike, but I don't know how to. And somebody says, well, you know, first of all, you get on the bike and you plant your backside on the saddle, and then you put one foot on one of the pedals. And they go, well, how do I get on the bike? You know, and we're into the infinite regress again. What needs to happen is the kid needs to get on the bike. The kid needs to get on the bike. Now, once the kid is on the bike, how-to is useful. How-to information is useful. This is why you can coach someone in bike riding when they're willing to get on a bike, but you cannot if they're not willing to get on the bike. Now, if they make it a precondition of getting on the bike that they know how to ride it because they've been given step-by-step instructions, you see it all locks down. Do you see the vicious circle in that? You see the vicious circle. So if you want to up your game in life with regard to how you engage with the world, how you do life, how you live life, procedures and processes and how-tos are really not that important. Okay? They're just some information that's going to help you out, but they are not the foundation. The foundation is the willingness to, the want to, the desire to, the commitment to, the stepping up and getting on the bike even though you don't know how to ride it. Okay? Even though you don't know how to ride it. So watch out for that in your life. If you're there going, well, I'd love to do this, but I don't know how to, take action, take steps. I'm going to tell you a story now about a friend of mine, Danny, who I've known for years. Now, many years ago, Danny played in a band. He was a drummer in a band. This is when he was about 15, I think. And the band hadn't been playing long. They were playing some covers and this kind of thing. And Danny decided that he wanted to write all the songs for the band. He wanted to write a set list of songs for the band. Of course, Danny was the drummer of the band. Now, he was a good drummer, but drums are not, it's not really the best instrument in the world for dealing with melody and harmony and all of these sorts of things which are quite intrinsic to the songwriting process. So really, Danny couldn't write the songs on the drums. He needed to write the songs on a different instrument, but the problem was he didn't play a different instrument. Except that it wasn't a problem, because Danny just had the desire. He wanted to, okay? He didn't get stuck in any kind of a how-to, he just wanted to. And he took action based upon his desire. And what he did is he picked up his brother's guitar, which he never played before, and just with one finger and one string, just the fat E string, kind of fiddled around until he got some good sounding lines, some good sounding tunes, recorded those on tape, put some vocal ideas over the top. Even though he wasn't a singer, he put the vocal ideas over the top. And then he had this thing rough crafted, these songs rough crafted. In the end, he had 6, 7 songs. At which point he took them to his brother, who did play guitar, and the rest of the band, and said, you know, here's the songs, let's work them up. And very quickly, the band had a set list of songs that were written by Danny, you see, because he just did it and he took action and he learned as he went. Now, because he was taking action and learning as he went, any input that people gave him to guide him probably would have been more or less useful. He could have used it, he could have experimented with it, he could have applied it. But if he'd have put that stuff between him and realizing what he wanted and creating what he wanted, it would have been a problem. So, in another life, in another universe, there might have been a different Danny who was going, you know, I'd really love to write the songs for my band. I wish I could do that, but I don't know how to play. I don't know how to play an instrument that I can write on. So, okay, well, I'd like to do it. So how do I learn to play an instrument? How do I learn? You know, let me go and find someone who can tell me how to learn to play an instrument. And they, you know, Danny may have gone online, although there wasn't an internet at the time, and found out some instructions how to learn to play the guitar, how to play the guitar. And he could have gone through those how-to instructions and thought, well, I'm still not sure about this bit. It says hold the plectrum with your right hand. How do I hold the plectrum? It doesn't say how I hold the plectrum. Well, I better go find out how to hold the plectrum. You know, he could have gone down this road. He could have got stuck in this trap, but he didn't. He just cleared his mind, decided what it is that he wanted to create, and engaged with it. Now, whatever it is that you want to create in life, whether it's something out there in the world, maybe it's a business that you want to create, maybe it's a piece of art, maybe it's a relationship that you want to create, or maybe there's some kind of shift you would like to make in yourself, in how you engage with the world, how you show up. So you can show up in ways that create more fulfillment and prosperity for you. Maybe there's a personal shift. Maybe there's a shift you want to make in how you communicate and you connect with other people. But whatever that shift is, the most important thing is you choose to make it and you start to take action. Not the right action, just action. Not action that is dictated by how-to instructions, but just action. So take whatever ideas you get, whatever ideas you're offered, and stride forward with creating the shift in your life that you want to create. And then start adding some how-to. Once someone's on the bike and they're learning to ride, you can coach them very effectively. But all the time they're sat on the park bench looking at the bike saying, well, I'm going to ride it, but I want to know how to first. All the time they're in that place, there's nothing that you can do for that person. If you're that person and you're coaching yourself, and you're using resources from the web and all sorts of places to coach you, recognize that. Are you on the bench looking at the bike, or have you got on the bike and started experimenting and playing around with riding it? Only at that point will how-to information be useful to you. So that's it summed up. How-to as an attitude is a trap. If you have an unconscious rule that says, before I do, I must know how to, you will be forever stuck in life, because the only way to know how to is to do. So you need to switch it round and get into the position where you're willing to do and take action and start shifting your way of understanding things and shifting your way of being.